Good evening, everyone. 大家晚安. Good afternoon and good morning. This is Reverend Heng Sure. Today is December 1st here in the Gold Coast of Queensland. It is November 30th back in Northern California. I hope you're all well. We're going to be explaining the Avatamsaka Sutra's Ten Transferences chapter, as we do every week at this time. Glad you're with us. Looking forward to what we can discover today. 大家晚安，午安，早安。我叫亨师，今天是12月初一啊，在澳大利亚在亚洲，在王府城是11月最后一个晚上。欢迎来参加我们研究学习这个大方广佛华严经的十回向品。Okay, now if I'm not mistaken, Gwyn is going to be our Dharma requester. So let's bring up the Dharma request formula. And I'm going to ring the bell 3 times. Make 3 half bows, and then ask Gwyn to do the Dharma request. 我们头先要行3个问讯礼，然后 Gwyn 都要请法。来 ，Here we go. 1问讯，再问讯，3问讯。Gwyn, if you would like to do the Dharma request, please go ahead and do it now.
恭请大德僧听，为此法会，及一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得速者无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to live suffering and attempt bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye olahadi samya samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samya samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. All right, Gwyn, thank you for the Dharma request. Yes, be happy to step in here and open up the sutra and see if we can't all pool our wisdom to bring the sutra to life, keep the Buddha's Dharma flame lit in the world. All right? Okay, here we go. 南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。Pomo people practice spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here on their ancestral land, that is to say, the Ukiah Valley, for tens of thousands of years. And today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, those to come, and all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 我们恭敬地承认 Pomo 人是我们寺院所在地的传统叙事者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。The bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共寻其法界和平，利益报他能厚德。Okay. So how is everyone doing? Let's see. Only 60 of us here today so far. Seems like a smaller number than usual. I understand there are major storms in Asia. So Sri Lanka was particularly hit hard. 大家好，健康法安静法希望各位就身体健康，精神愉快。Yeah. Let's see here. We're going to put this away. Park that right there. And we'll park that right there. 我最近忙不得了。因为这里有一位居士要做受顺者，他的仪式就100多人来参加，祝福他成功那个受顺者是一个修行者，这是第一步。然后还有是他9个月的期间，他觉得是可以的话，他会继续剃度出了家。他还没有 出了家，他现在试试可以觉得适合这种生活。然后呢，他有几个年，就2、3年，他觉得火候的话，就可以登坛受具足戒，做比丘，受菩萨戒。所以这是很重要的第一步。那么刚刚现在今天星期一，我们上个星期六，就是这么一个局面，不是那个，是这个。所以那个受生者就是中间这位少年 Wade 啊，然后你看那么多人呢出来祝福他，支持他就是这个呃我们的这个 GCD2 黄金海岸冷眼寺，你看那么多比丘尼，那么多比丘都来支持，所以佛法在西方啊。那么还有就是那天下午我们还举办传游冥界的一个法会，那么多人呢，超过120，在那儿澎湃位求受这个游冥界。So English speakers are thinking, what's he saying? What's he saying? So we've been busy here. These are the 100 plus, 120 plus people who held up highway plaques to receive the precepts for the deceased. Look at all the bhikshunis here in Australia. Isn't that wonderful? 7 nuns, 4 bhikshus, and lots of lay people vigorously requesting the Sangha to transmit the precepts for the deceased. The other photo that I showed right here is this is the trainee ordination for a young man from Australia who has entered the path of a left home person. Months as a trainee, then years as a novice is the next step. Following that, you receive the complete threefold precepts and become a bhikshu and take the bodhisattva precepts. So that was Wade, this young man here in the front. So this one, not the little guy, not the old guy. So lots of activities here. And not only that, oh my goodness, 还有就是一个那天晚上开了昙花一现，就是一个晚上开，就第二天歇，就一天昙花一现，非常吉祥。就在这里就凭那一天晚上，所以所有的居士来护法求戒的都会看到这个昙花。So there was something else that happened here, very auspicious that night. There's a flower called the night blooming Sirius flower. It blooms one night. It opens at 9, midnight, it's wide open. The next morning, it's done. This is that night blooming Sirius, also called Queen of the Night flower. And it bloomed that night. Quite remarkable, quite remarkable. So very busy these days. So we are here to look into the 10 transferences. Certainly a bodhisattva who can make this kind of dedication of merit is also the Udumbara flower. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, sort of. It's tanhua. So Udumbara flowers are magical. They're kind of like Vajra. So you kind of see it and you kind of don't. But it's certainly the Chinese idiom, Hanhua Yixian, the Udumbara flower blooms once, is to say rare and special and impermanent. That's the important thing about that idiom. 中文有这么一个成语，就说昙花一现。就我们大自然界有这么一朵花， 这个花就是这个刚刚看到的团花，它就一个晚上开了，哇，非常漂亮。然后呢，谢了，第二天没有了。意思是说什么？代表无常，无常也是代表什么？难得，很吉祥。It's both rare and subtle and fleeting. Fleeting doesn't last long. All right. Now, everybody remembers, I'm sure. Let's see. Everybody remembers where we were in our ninth transference. We're in the middle of Shenwei Shizhi, very subtle and fine, hard to register knowledge or wisdom. And that is what our bodhisattva is now sending out with his every wish. Okay? So each time the bodhisattva dedicates merit, his merit has to do with a variety of things. First of all, it's what is he's using 无着无缚解脱心. He's using unbound, unattached, liberated mind, and he's cultivating Samantabhadra's practices. Samantabhadra, Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. Those are the two things he combines. Now, because the ninth transference Bodhisattva is like, his mind is way, way up there. He is not far from Buddhahood. Certainly, he has to go through the inexhaustible treasuries. He has to go through the 10 stages and equal enlightenment, wonderful enlightenment. But still, he's not far from it. And so at the ninth transference, his mind goes very far and is very pure. And so when he dedicates merit, he's dedicating it to lots and lots of living beings at once in a very deep place in their minds. That's the Shenwei Shi part, the extremely subtle and fine, delicate, special, all those words work here for Shenwei Shi. So that's where we're at. And the other thing about each of these wishes is they're really long. These are complex dedications. They really, this bodhisattva is not, what do you say? He doesn't, there's one kind of school of thought that says when you get old, you quit. When you get old, you retire, kick back, and just kind of wait till you die, sort of. There's bodhisattva. The higher he gets on the bodhisattva path, the more incredible his or her vows become. 各位记得吗？菩萨他以无着无缚解脱心，那个是第九回向的名字。在这个这种的地步，在这个阶级，在这种应该怎么说？这个程度有这个成绩的菩萨，他的心跟佛的心没有很远的地方，还要走。如果我们就把菩萨道从底往上开始，就说还有一个回向，第10回向，然后15经藏，然后呢，取地等觉妙觉就是佛，到那个地步就是佛。那么这位菩萨，他的心跟佛的心呢，他也还要走的路并不是那么远，所以他发的回向愿呢，我们大家知道，就有跟普贤菩萨有关的。然后呢，现在他就有深维系的智慧，在这个每一个回向愿里边，而且呢，这些愿呢，哇，复杂，很广又博又大范围很大，所以他希望众生受到他愿的每个誓愿的这种内容的功德，他希望这个功德会，如果是肥料的话，他就在 众生心里的最基本的地方都可以收了，都可以变成肥沃。So it's like the point of each of these vows is the Bodhisattva is giving a gift. He's giving away the hard work that he put in his cultivation. And he hopes that living beings will get it kind of like fertilizer in a deep part of the mind, so the mind becomes fertile and nourished and able to bear Buddha fruit. So that's what's going on. Okay, now we got down to here. And because we have a long way to go, and because I want everybody to kind of be inspired by what we're reading to investigate your own dedication, your own transference. So I'm going to read down. Okay, maybe should we do the whole page? We haven't done that before. Maybe we could do that. Let's do the whole page, and then I'll come back and explain it. 我就因为我的目的呢是让大家跟我一起阅读，一起讨论研究这个第九回向华严经的经文，所以我就把一页，整个这个月第一页44页在我们的本子上，整个一页要听一听，从上边就念到第45页46页，然后再来英文从上边要念一念整个页，希望我们可以自己有启发的作用，就说哎那么如果我来回向功德，应该怎么样的原理 ？Okay, that's the goal. Here we go. Ready to go. 菩萨陀罗尼门智身为系，菩萨无量无畏力，一切辩才藏言说身为系，菩萨无量三昧相身为系，菩萨见一切佛三昧智身为系。菩萨深深三昧智身为系，菩萨大庄严三昧智身为系，菩萨法界三昧智身为系，菩萨大自在神通三昧智身为系，菩萨尽未来际广大恒住持三昧智身为系，菩萨出生无量差别三昧智身为系，菩萨出生一切诸佛前，勤修供养，恒不舍离三昧智身为系。菩萨修行一切深深广博，无障无碍三昧智身为系。There it is. Okay, here we go. The verb, it was up here. It was, may they be able to know. May they be able to know the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's gateways to Dharani wisdom, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's expositions by means of treasuries of eloquence on the limitless grounds of fearlessness, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's countless characteristics of samadhis, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's wisdom that discerns all Buddha's samadhis, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's extremely profound samadhi wisdom, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's samadhi wisdom of great adornments, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's samadhi wisdom of the Dharma realm, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's samadhi wisdom of great spiritual powers of self-mastery, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's samadhi wisdom that sustains expansive practice to the ends of future time, The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas bringing forth countless varieties of samadhi wisdom. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas bringing forth samadhi wisdom, never forsaking, making diligent offerings to all Buddhas. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas cultivating all extremely profound, extensive, and unobstructed samadhi wisdom. We'll do one more. 我们再补充。菩萨究竟一切之地，住持恒之地，大神通地，决定义地，离义三昧智，神为系，如是等一切神为系，悉能了知。The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's samadhi wisdom that leaves behind all hindrances and perfectly realizes the grounds of omniscient wisdom, the grounds that sustain practice and wisdom, the grounds of great spiritual power, and the grounds of absolute truth. They're able to understand all extreme subtleties such as these. Oh boy. Okay, it began up here. So may all resolve upon profound aspirations, vows, and cultivate Samantabhadra's practices with a liberated mind free from attachments and bonds. Okay, that's the general head of this is one vow, right? The one vow. May they be able to know. We went down through this group and then we got here. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's gateways to Dharani wisdom. Okay, Dharani wisdom, the wisdom that comes from sound and vibration and mantras and true words and Dharanis. There's wisdom in those. The extreme subtleties, extremely subtle because it's hard to know. It's not evident at the first look. You have to look deeper. Then it gets, you see the subtlety. The extreme subtleties of Bodhisattva's teaching, using a treasury of eloquence, all different kinds of expression, ways to communicate, on the limitless grounds of fearlessness. Look at the compound here. Pusa Wuliang Wei Di. The Bodhisattva's boundless ground of courage, stage of courage. All kinds of eloquence in speaking, that extreme subtlety. Got that? Put all those ideas together and we get this Bodhisattva's mind. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's countless characteristics of samadhis. Okay, if you enter samadhi, your mind becomes crystalline. You can reflect everything around it. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's wisdom that discerns all the Buddha's samadhis. So Buddhas, because they have removed all of the barriers around their Buddha nature, so this amazing what do we, if we said an amazing computer, what do humans have that we immediately respect and understand that it's like something's going to happen that's good? An engine. What is the mind? What is the Buddha nature? The Buddha nature is like an engine, a creation engine. It's like a computer. It's like a treasure trove. You found the pirate's treasure. What else? Elemental things, fire that consumes, earth that supports, water that nourishes, air that surrounds. Bodhisattva, the Buddha nature is all of those things. Because the Buddha has removed the things that obstruct the mind, so he can express all this. So could we. 就说佛性呢，佛性跟你的那个自信一样的， 可是佛他已经把这个遮盖佛性的东西修到没有了，就把它去掉了。结果呢，佛的佛性就有作用。我们普通的那个每天的生活当中，都有什么可以代表？很难，没有什么。如果说机器或者马达，功能也不少；如果说电脑，哦，功能不少；或者就说大道，大道我们有没有概念？就说火，这个火大，火能烧东西，能让我们发暖气，能烧饭呢，开水就是火的很大的用处。火性呢，超过那个功能，所以佛它的深深的三昧智。深深三昧智生昧系，佛能 follow，有这种 profound samadhi wisdom 功用，真的没有完了。So here we're talking about the samadhi wisdom. When your mind is uncovered and you discipline it, you give it the shape of the samadhis, just amazing what it can do. All the Buddha's samadhis are known. We have extremely profound samadhi wisdom, great adornments samadhi wisdom. We have samadhi wisdom of the Dharma realm, knowing all the different, that could be Dharma realms, knows all the different Dharma realms that are in the 10 Dharma realms, right? We read them yesterday, Shifu's verses. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's samadhi wisdom of great spiritual powers of self-mastery. Wow. Okay, look at this. So samadhi wisdom, spiritual powers, shantong, and zuzai. These are, you don't often see all these words put together in this way. That's what the Bodhisattva is dedicating to all living beings. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's samadhi wisdom that sustains expansive conduct to the ends of future time. I don't use the word conduct here. I don't think it's appropriate. Conduct in English has a very different resonance. So, samadhi wisdom, we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 10 samadhi wisdoms here, 11, 12. Okay, here we go. So here it's samadhi wisdom that sustains expansive practice to the ends of future time. You keep on meditating, keep on cultivating. Extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas, bringing forth varieties of samadhi wisdom. Extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas, bringing forth samadhi wisdom, never forsaking making offerings. Keeps that up. Guanyin Bodhisattva in the Pumanpian makes offerings to the Buddha. She's already at the top of her game, and she was a Buddha, and she's still making offering. Extreme subtleties of cultivating profound, extensive, unobstructed samadhi wisdom, and then the conclusion, which is powerful, the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's samadhi wisdom that leaves hindrances, realizes omniscient wisdom, practices wisdom, great spiritual power, and absolute truth. Let's see here, Dashantong Jue Ding Yi. Did we get the... I think we might have missed one here. Li Yi San Mei Zhi. The wisdom that leaves, let's see here, leaves behind hindrances. I guess that's the one. So they went backwards. Grounds of wisdom. Okay. So, 我们再回去 有10个三昧智，这个就是菩萨的回向愿。你看他哇，他能发这么一个回向愿，也是很深微细的，深微细智慧在这里，真的是，嗯，我们看第九回向女菩萨，她的心呢、多么光亮，是不是？OK，stream subtleties of gateways to see，就说神为系陀罗尼智、陀罗尼门智啊，就说他会念咒、持咒，他呃明白怎么样真言呐、陀罗尼呀、咒文啊，他都会啊。无畏地、无量无畏地，一切辩才藏言说神为系，那种神为系。无量三昧智，OK，那我们就开始有无量三昧，还有三昧智、佛三昧智、深深三昧智、大庄严三昧智，法界三昧智、大自在神通三昧智，住持三昧智，还有无量四别三昧智，这些三昧智，他入三昧啊，因为心里没有障碍，结果功用都会了这种深微细很难了解，很难懂，因为没有动作，也没有颜色，也没有声音，可是呢，它的作用，它的功能很大很大。深微细不是说没有或者不重要，很重要。它会翻天覆地就变山为海这样子。可是呢，很深微细的，对，很啊、很不容易用什么气量，用什么怎么说？You can't，它不能用任何的机器来发现它的作用，就是很深深的、很奇妙的，不过是很真的。菩萨修行一切，身为系广博无障无碍，三昧智，身为系。最后呢，菩萨究竟一切之地，住持恒智地大神通地，决定义地离异三昧智，身为系，他都通了，他就明白。如是等一切身为系，悉能了知。They are able to understand all such extreme subtleties as these. That's a vow. That's a bodhisattva's vow. Amazing. Wow. Uh, I'd like to ask people, do you feel that your ability to concentrate has decreased in since COVID, the last 5 years, because of your advanced cell phone use? My guess is the answer is yes. Certainly mine has. During COVID, people were locked in. So, especially children, oh my goodness, all school, all education had to be done on a computer over the internet because you couldn't go out your door. So, from there was no alternative then. And from that time, it seems like our computer use has grown and grown and grown. And as we spend more time just passively looking at a screen and the changes of light on that glass, I think that has a major effect on our ability to hold a thought. So the reason I bring this up, look at the Bodhisattva's vow. This is one transference wish, one dedication wish. All of that starts with, may all resolve upon profound aspiration and cultivate samadhi practices with liberated mind, free of attachments and bonds. And because of that, can they know? And then we had all those, Shenwei Shi, all those subtle. So look at the Bodhisattva's mind had to focus clearly on that to make such a thing happen. And I think, wow, my mind it's obviously has gotten softer by looking at screens. And if we're moving further and further towards agents of AI, little machines that go out and save us effort to do things like buying plane tickets or ordering food from the grocery store online. So what happens to us as we give more and more of our work to machines? Good question. 那么各位看看菩萨发的这个回向愿，刚刚2天的时间，我们花在1个愿，从这里开始，以无着无复解脱心，立身至要，修普贤行啊，能治一切菩萨，从出发心为一切众生。他那个动词能知，能知什么？那么多真维系，你看他的愿力一直到这儿，哇哦！你们有没有觉得最近应该说从疫情那个2020年开始，你们各位有没有觉得你的记忆力现在比以前更弱？我们会不会把这么大、这么广大的一个回向愿发了、注意了，然后呢，可能一直到最后，我们已经忘了前边那个部分呀，太不是说太长，就说心呢太弱了，因为每一天一天到晚，每天在那儿看这个东西，看这个手机，你看我的代数，这个手机啊，在疫情那2年了，当然不能出门了，尤其孩子读书呢，完全依靠这个网络，不然的话没有不能上课，除非父母能教孩子。所以呢，那个时候你不看你的手机，那就没有来往，没有跟人有任何来往。所以呢，从那个时候好像许可我们一天到晚在这看手机了。有没有一个就说一个代出？有没有一个会不会罚款呢？会不会付税？对了，有付什么税？就是慢慢的脑就软了，就肉软，没有力气。因为那个看手机的荧幕呢是被动的行为，你自己参不参加没人知道了，眼睛就看着那个影子在那动，所以这个是慢慢的脑就没力量啊。菩萨发这么大的一个愿呢，我们又没有这个能力。当然，这就地菩萨，就回向的菩萨，他已经他的心呢，就是不是跟我们的心一样，可是呢，还要考虑。You know that here in Australia, children under 16 are not allowed to move their cell phone. It's a new law. Australia is leading the way here. I think other countries are going to follow. They say that social media is just not good for children. I absolutely agree. I look at the effect of social media on my memory and understand that cell phones and the use of passively staring at a screen harms the mind. 我们这里澳大利亚16岁以下的小孩子不能看这个 social media，不能看手机了，不准就定了这么一个法律的。我觉得有很大很大的影响。Australia 是第一个国家有这么一个法律，所以其他的国家都要跟着。我觉得就是相当挽救孩子的这个脑子和他们未来的新的作用不要看孩子就知道自己 看手机啊，看了电脑，时间久了，心里就软了。所以如果要像这位菩萨法这么伟大，这么呃，如果要真的要有无着无缚解脱心，跟着普贤的宏愿，然后发这么一个回向愿呢，没办法啊。So anyway, that's my thinking on these amazing. As a society is colonized, indeed, and colonized, our attention is being colonized for someone else's profit. That's right. Not only our attention, but our economy has been now entirely devoted to the development of data centers. Okay, back to the Bodhisattva. Let's look at this next vow. Starting here and going all the way. Look at this. There. Still going. To there. That's one vow. One vow. 2.5 pages of writers' details. Okay. We're just going to now, if you go back and look at how Shifu explained these. Okay. Malaysia, January 1st, one more month. 16 years older, under, can't watch social media, murder and rape case in public school. Yeah. 就马来西亚也会跟随，就是16岁以上以下不能动这个社会媒体。So when Shifu explained these sections that are deeply layered and subtle, he mostly read them, just repeated them again in simpler language than the sutra section. So that way we can move through, because these this is the 9th transference, and I guarantee you the 10th transference is even more profound and wonderful. And on one hand, is a challenge to make these texts come alive. On the other hand, I don't want to underestimate the sutra itself and let the sutra speak. I want to get out of the way of the sutra and let the magic, let the light of the jiachi, the light of the aid of the 3 jewels shine through. So, 如果各位拿上人讲的神和上人讲的华严经呢，就去看的话，有这种的经文出来，上人都会先念了，然后用白话文再来简单的再说一遍，不一定一个字一个句一句一句一字一字来解释，不然的话太长了哈，所以我们就再来很恭敬、毕恭毕敬的让华严经的这个华严海会佛菩萨加倍各位要懂的内容，我们都会一定不会少了，一定会出现了。Okay, so we'll go down to the bottom of this page and let the sutra speak. Here we go. 以无着无缚解脱心修普贤行，悉知一切菩萨安立智身为系，菩萨地身为系，菩萨无量行身为系，菩萨出生回向身为系，菩萨得一切佛藏身为系，菩萨观察智身为系，菩萨神通愿力身为系，菩萨演说三昧身为系，菩萨自在方便身为系，菩萨印 身为系. May all cultivate Samantabhadra's practices with a liberated mind free from attachments and bonds. May they know the extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's wisdom of firmly grounding themselves. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's stages. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's countless practices. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's dedication of merit. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's acquiring all Buddha's treasuries. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's contemplative wisdom. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's spiritual powers and vows. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's expounding of samadhis. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's skillful means of self-mastery. The extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's seals. Seals, okay, we'll get there. Okay? 好，动词是悉知，一切什么就是要念下去。悉知什么？菩萨安立智，身为系。安立 firmly grounding themselves. OK， 菩萨地就出欢喜地，二离垢地，三放光地 ，etc. 身为系那种智慧，菩萨无量恒身为系。不是很粗粗的，是很深微细的了解菩萨无量恒，就说六度万恒，菩萨出生回向深微细，这个行菩萨道很重要的一个修行方法。菩萨得一切佛藏深微细，佛藏。账户打开门，很多东西在里边。佛果什么都在里边的。佛藏，菩萨观察智身为系，不但能观察一个人，知道那个人的前生啊，他一切的，而且这个地球，这个世界，整个法界。能观察就知道了，师父都会说像手掌里一个苹果一样。菩萨神通愿力，身为系，这是大乘菩萨的工具。菩萨演说三昧，身为系，能劝大家要打坐。菩萨自在方便，身为系。如果这个方法不行，那另外用一个方法，看看行不行。菩萨印身为系这个这个道理就是菩萨的印上有种种的有几个不同的这个解释法那么海印三昧就说心就像一个大海一样的，可是那个海上一个波浪都没有，那个水很澄清，你可以从上面看到底，就它会反映 reflect 世界所有一切的影像。Here we go. Here we all cultivate Samantabhadra's practices with a liberated mind, free of attachments and bonds, and thereby opening up the knowledge of extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's wisdom of Anli, setting themselves down peacefully, setting up, getting settled. Extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's 10 stages, not grounds, stages. The first one is the stage of happiness. The second one is the stage going beyond defilement. The third is the stage that sends light out. Oh boy. This knowledge, the Bodhisattva's 10 stages, is the real treasure of the Bodhisattva path. Extreme subtleties of the Bodhisattva's countless practices, the 6 paramitas and the 10,000 practices. Bodhisattva's dedications of merit, the last of Samantabhadra's 10 practices. Extreme subtleties of Bodhisattva's acquiring Buddha's treasuries. Now, was thinking, what's a Buddha treasury? So when was the last time you opened up a suitcase of stuff that you forgot that you'd packed? Simpler, Christmas gifts. You open up and unwrap a Christmas gift. Remember as a kid? Oh, so happy. What was in it? It just made the kid was like thrilled, and the parents were thrilled to watch the kid be thrilled. That's a treasury. It's a treasurer. It's able to make us happy. Imagine what the Buddha realm, the Buddha fruition. When the mind accomplishes Buddhahood, imagine what's inside, waiting to make us happy. Bodhisattva's contemplative wisdom can contemplate your causes, your past lives, or what's the story with the world or the Dharma realm. Bodhisattvas can do that. Extreme subtleties of spiritual powers and vows, tools for bodhisattvas. Expounding of samadhis, wanting to encourage everybody to come meditate. Extreme subtleties of skillful means, they work for one person in one way and another person another way. Extreme subtleties of bodhisattva's seal. This one is very interesting. Bodhisattva's seals, not to be confused with the Pacific seal, but bodhisattva's seals, it's like there is a quality of something that comes from the human mind, refined with this light and strength. And when it's refined that way, it is, it's distinctly from the bodhisattva. It's a seal. It's like in Chinese calligraphy, if you've seen Chinese art, there's that red ink sign at the end of the last line and other places. Those are bodhisattva seals. Let's see. Lanting. The Wang Shi Zhi Lan Ting Shu Scroll. See if we can find it. Aha. Okay. Perfect. We'll go there. We'll go there. And we'll download it. Oops. It's so big. Oh. Can't download it. Let's see here. Download. Okay, the big one. There we go. Okay. Now, for those of you like me who don't do good calligraphy, do you see these seals? Look, I see my cursor on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, wow, 50 some seals. There are 50 some red ink seals on this piece of calligraphy. This is by a man named Wang Shizhi, who is supposed to be they call him the saint of calligraphy. Generations of Chinese calligraphers affirm that this is a very special document. It's written about how he's nostalgic for his friends who used to gather by a stream in a pagoda, a little place for resting with a roof and a bench and a table. And they would drink wine or tea and write poetry and write inscriptions and verses and laugh with each other and try to outsmart each other with their literary skills. And it's the beautiful days of yore that have gone by. When this piece was passed on, everyone who owned a copy would put their seal on it. Everybody who, not a copy, the original, this is the original. As the original was passed from hand to hand, each new owner would feel like it was his right to affirm his seal. Each seal represents an owner at one point. I believe this went into the hands of the emperor. I haven't read up on this enough to know, but believe the emperor owned it at one point, and it's priceless. This is absolutely a museum quality document. Lan Ting Xu, the preface to the Orchid Pagoda, I believe. That's how it goes. Anyway, each of these are seals, and they indicate each one is the name or the name of your. It's either your personal name or your pen name or the name of your institution, perhaps. If you have a famous atelier or a famous studio, you'd carve a seal for that. And then you, if you dared, you would put it on top of Wang Shizhi's calligraphy here. So that takes a lot of guts to feel that you're enough of an individual famous to be able to add your chop to this historic piece of calligraphy. Notice this is considered a rough draft. There are words that are overwritten. He inked them out because he didn't like the way they were. 各位知道这个兰亭序哈，王羲之那个书法显哈，书法神，这是表示什么？土章那个印，土章是left top, the round one. The Qianlong Emperor is the round one up on top, left top. 就是这个哈，乾隆，我不会看的，看不清楚。就说这个是王羲之他的书法，他就纪念他们当时朋友在一起到了这个河边啊，有一亭子，他们都会在那边朋友在一起喝茶喝酒，然后写诗啊，都会写文章，看看谁的辩才，谁的文笔啊，谁的书法比较好，然后大家很开心在那里。然后因为王羲之，大家觉得历史的书法家觉得他的书法有一种精神最好，而且这一章是他的代表性，所以从传手哪里什么时候到你的手里，如果你有的话，你可以盖你的图章。每一个就是有50多张，每一个人可能一个人，如果他胆子大，如果他敢做，他会盖几个，不是说一个人一个图章。如果你的学校啊，或者你写字的地方有个名字啊，或者你有一个笔名，你也可以用那个名字来刻图章，然后呢放了。这个一换说这是乾隆皇帝的他的一个图章在这里啊，所以这是一种印，不是菩萨印，不是菩萨印，菩萨印就无形无相，也没有颜色，也不必有这个朱砂来盖啊，不是，不同。不过我们永和9年，岁在那暮春之初，会遇灰积山，隐至兰亭。对了，我相信有没有谁会念呢？有没有谁会替我们念呢？好像也会唱。乾隆，OK， yeah. So the 兰亭序, this is really famous calligraphy. Wow，现在序在哪里？我没有研究，是在故宫吗？是在什么地方？I don't know where that is. So the Bodhisattva seal is not that seal. That's a different seal. All right. The Bodhisattva does not affix his seal to a piece of calligraphy. It's done through the mind. The 以心印心这种以心印心. I have a hopeful parrot clinging to my screen here. Sorry, bud. I'm lecturing. Gotta wait. Flies right up to my screen and hooks his claws in. Nope. Nope. The restaurant is not open. We're going to go down. We'll do one more page here. We have to do the whole thing. And yeah, we'll do one more page just so we can say we've made some progress here. 我们再来念一章48、49，这样是下个礼拜就不会后悔说太慢太慢。来了，菩萨一生不处身为系，菩萨生斗率天身为系，菩萨住指天宫身为系，菩萨眼镜佛果身为系，菩萨观察人中身为系，菩萨放大光明身为系。菩萨种族殊胜身为系，菩萨道场中会身为系，菩萨遍一切世界受生身为系，菩萨于一身实现一切身命中身为系，菩萨入母胎身为系，菩萨住母胎身为系，菩萨在母胎中自在实现一切法界道场中会身为系，菩萨在母胎中实现一切佛神力身为系。Oh, it gets better and better as we go. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas being destined to attain Buddhahood in their next life. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattva's rebirth in the Tushita heaven. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas residing in celestial palaces. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas adorning and purifying Buddha lands. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattva's contemplation of people. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas emitting great brilliance. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattva's supreme lineage. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattva's assemblies at sites of awakening. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattva's universal rebirths throughout all worlds. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattva's manifestation in a single body of the end of life for all bodies. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas entering their mother's wombs. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattvas abiding in their mother's wombs. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattva's masterful manifestation of all assemblies at sites of awakening throughout the Dharma realm within their mother's wombs. The extreme subtleties of the bodhisattva's manifestation of all Buddha's spiritual powers within their mother's wombs. Okay, so here we are. What is happening here is one of the key words in this is manifestation, because in this is a one transference vow, and the bodhisattva is making images appear in the minds of living beings. Is it brainwashing? No. It's just like words. Words are images. They're also vibrations. They have the sounds, but you can also communicate words with sign language. So with no sound, it's the bodhisattva is creating images to plant goodness in people's hearts. And here is a story. This is storytelling of the finest kind, extremely subtle, because these images are ephemeral, they're immaterial and not material, they're weightless, they're colorless, and yet the stories he's telling is the story of the Buddha's Bashang Chengdao, how a Buddha goes from 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. The Bodhisattva goes to Buddhahood through these steps every time. It's a pattern. This is the path. And somehow, if you think of it as a computer program, this program is deeply programmed into our highest nature, and it's extremely subtle, but it's there waiting to be charged up and booted up into our operating system, right? 就说虽然是声微系哈，你们各位自信上已经有这个节目，这个 APP 是在我们的佛性里边八相成道八相成道这个地步，这个模型这种program 已经在，就是等着我们把它开了，在我们身体这个身心性命的电脑当中，然后很深微细的，因为这是最后的一步，就是成佛，这是成功修行的成功那个地步啊，要成佛来生怎么说呢？就说一生不出。Buddhahood in your next life，还有往斗衰天，在那儿等待时间到了可以下来，就住在天宫，然后庄严佛度啊，庄严佛净土，愿以此功德庄严佛净土啊，就说观察你要度的人，放光明，然后掌握人的信心。然后到了这个佛的中会啊，然后就说可以往生其他的地方，就转法轮，然后你就知道生死生又来生，生老病死又生，你明白你就知道了，然后入母胎，住母胎。然后就可以实现在其他的地方，从目前的台里边都有这个功能，然后现神通从目前的台里边都会现，just amazing this ability the bodhisattvas want to give us now, this by dedicating merit to us so that these images appear in our minds. 他们就愿意回向，把我们人的，就说有缘的人，我们自己心里面就会想到，哎，对，我也可以，我应该我要这样做，这是回向的愿。那你说不是洗脑吗？洗脑讲话也是洗脑，就是希望这个意思，我要跟你沟通的意思，都会在你心里，是不是？对了，所以呢，我们不要以为这是很不好。你有这个影子在你心里实现，你也可以不做了，你可以不修行。不过菩萨希望我们就会修行。Okay, look, we got a lot. Let's see here. Should we do? No, we've got to. We'll finish up here next week. Okay. Here we go. My goodness, this is truly, truly amazing. Whew. Take a look. Our hero, Master Shenzong, is getting close. He is getting very close to Nalanda, to where he wants to be. And we've recently investigated King Ashoka because King Ashoka is, he left his mark on India. Wow. With all of those towers and pagodas, stupas, and the Sharira, and then the edicts. He changed the culture of India. 阿育王还有无忧王，我们这几个礼拜了，在那儿研究了，他真的改变印度的社会，他改变历史，他这么一个善良的一个国王， 忏悔后善良的一个国王，他建立这些大柱子，还有塔，还有石力塔，还有他的发言，真的把当时印度的社会，改良改善了很多很多啊。So 故称东南有居沙阿兰莫，其愿僧伽蓝故基，无忧王所造，是赵千僧四师供养处，是等圣迹，翻庭7日，礼拜方便。To the southeast of the old city, the old foundations of the Kukutarama, that's chicken monastery, chicken garden, built by King Ashoka, mark the place where the king invited 1,000 monks and offered them the 4 requisites: food, clothing, bedding, medicine. The master stayed for 7 days and worshipped all these holy places. So look at this. Master Shenzong came from China for this. That's among other things, but this is what he set out. He wanted to get to the Holy Land of Buddhism, and he found it. So, of course, he's going to spend 7 days making sure that he writes in his journal, that he restores his health, that he is dealing with the people he's traveling with, lots of things to have to be attended to, but most of all, he's soaking up the source of Buddhism, of the faith, so he can take it back to Tang China and set things straight. 大师呢，他来印度的目的就是这个。他到了，他就用7天在那儿吸收这边的精神那个气氛。他写笔记啊，他就跟他随团的这些佛友啊，跟他们一起就自己的能力也充电了就养生啊、养性啊，在那儿。他来的目的啊，就是完全明白这个地方的故事，准备带回去中国，传给不能跟他来的这些佛友。又西南行6期游巡至低罗遮迦寺，寺有三藏术师人温法师智，皆出迎迎。6 or 7 yojanas to the southwest, the master came to the Tila Daka monastery, in which live several tens of Tripitaka masters. On hearing the arrival of the master, they all came out to welcome him. Sanzang Shushiren, a Tripitaka master, that name is not casually given. That's somebody who really deserves the name. Someone who has mastered the Pali or Sanskrit canon. Not the Chinese canon, these are Indian monks. 就说三藏术士人，三藏师呢，这个名字呢不是随便取一个名字，你要有这么一个名字呢，你完全通了巴利文还是梵文的佛经藏那么这不是中国，所以不是那个大藏经，是当时的这个所有的佛经书OK， 从此又南行100余里到菩提树。菩提树，树圆垒砖，高峻极固，东西长，南北少狭。正门东对泥莲禅河，南门解大花池，喜带掩固。北门通大伽蓝，其内圣迹连接，或精舍，或苏堵波，并诸王大臣，豪富长者，木生应造，用为经济。Continuing south for 100 li, he reached the Bodhi tree. The Bodhi tree. The enclosure of the tree was built of brick. It was high and very strong. It was long from east to west and narrow from south to north. The main gate faced the Nairanjana River in the east, where the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree. Yep. The southern gate connecting from a large flower tank, the west side bordering on a steep hill, and the northern gate communicating with a big monastery. Inside, many holy places connected one with the other. There were temples and stupas, all built in memory of the Buddha by the kings, ministers, and rich, noble people. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna take a look here. Okay, if you wait, I'll feed you. Okay. And hear the parrot talking. So let's see here. Here's the Bodhi tree. This is what it looks like. Here it is. It's a fig, Ficus religioso. We're only looking at a corner of it. 这是菩提树，现在在菩提迦叶 Bodh Gaya 在印度 You can see 就是这么一棵树，你在这棵树底下打坐很好啊。It is a really good tree for meditating under, right? You can see. Fig trees spread. They spread. This is the spot by the riverbank. This is 1810. 110年，就这么一棵树。There it is. That's a Bodhi tree. 2015. 2015年。那个 yeah. Place of enlightenment. 623. Full moon on the Bodhi tree. 对了。So when you go, 你进去那个建筑物呢，就是马哈菩提树，那个里边都有，就是这么一个。Everybody lines up. They're all excited outside it. They go inside. What was that? That was nothing. Here's a Bodhi tree. Okay. 在那个菩提树的四周围，很多道场，很多每个国家有不同的一个能礼拜的地方。Outside the Bodhi tree, there are lots in Bodh Gaya. There are lots of this is Sri Lanka, Shilan. There are lots of monasteries built around, so people have an opportunity to, each in their own way, the Burmese, the Indian, the Taiwanese, etc., and they can come and worship there. Let's download this guy. Here we go. Download. Full resolution. There it is. Okay, so that's the Bodhi tree. And it's very much worth a visit if anybody gets a chance. 如果大家有机会去亲自礼拜菩提树呢，非常值得去看一下。因为那棵树呢，不是佛正果的那棵树，不是。那个，因为那个故事，故事，现在不是，下个礼拜我会把这个讲歌那个故事，从头到尾讲给大家听，因为那个来龙去脉啊，就是有一位妒忌的国王把他砍掉了，因为那棵树呢，它的一个树枝子带到西兰去，所以他们就邀请西兰的国王把它送回来，所以现在的菩提树呢，是那个佛正果底下的那个地下佛那棵树底下的正果的树呢，他的孙子。第三代。Okay, 下个礼拜再讲。I'll tell you the whole story next week. The current Bodhi tree is the third generation. The original tree was cut down by a jealous king and sent to Sri Lanka earlier. So then that tree, they cut down, they provided a sapling and it regrew. All right? Here we go. Dedicate merit, just like the Bodhisattvas, please. Make a big wish. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. Hear people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in unity. May our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. Alrighty, that's going to do it for us for this week. We got to see Lanting Shu. We got to understand a little bit more about seals and the Bodhisattva's Shenwei Shi and how amazing this is. 那么我们都到此为止。今天我们可以研究佛的这个他的弟子的这个菩萨的横门不可思议的深微细致，在那儿回向功德，真的很微妙。Okay. So next week we will continue. See you all then. Here we go. On a bow to the Buddha, bow to Guan Yin 菩萨，我们就向观音菩萨行三问讯礼。一问讯，再问讯，三问讯。Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. There you go. All right. I'm going to go feed my parrot. See you all next week, everyone. Ami Tuo Fo. Bye now.